Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and that's the final episode of the year, number 27, season 1 from Joe Oriani's podcast. And I am your most host. This with the mostest, and the mostest host you ever had the most of. If that makes any sense to you, disconnect because I have no idea what I just said. But anyway, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Joe Oriani. This is Joe Oriani Podcast at yahoo.com, or you can get the whole of me the best way at www.truthchat.fun. No .coms, no nothing after that. Or you can reach me on Twitter at OrianiJoe3. I do have Instagram. As I said before, I have no idea what to do with that thing. But eventually I will learn. Now, this is the end of the year. And I should do an in review thing, but I have a couple of comments to make. First of all, for the 24 people that I have interviewed over the course of the last 6 months, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've interviewed people who want to become actors and nurses and people who help with veterans of foreign wars and people who help with abused women and children, bank examiners, all kinds of different people from all walks of life. And again, it was very interesting stories. And as I told you all before, this podcast is about you, not about me. I'm not the star. I want to talk to people who have stories to tell that others may find interesting or they may find dull. I don't really care, but you should have a story. Millions of people and billions of people in this country, and nobody wants to do an interview? How sad. Life is worth more than that. Tell people how good it is or how bad it is so we can learn from it. But anyway, enough about me. Anyway, I was asked today what my podcast is about. And as have I told you over and over again, it's about learning different things, talking to different people. Up to the last 2 weeks, I have not had any guests. I don't expect any for the next couple of weeks, maybe when I get back from Pennsylvania, but I will still be doing my podcast from there. Maybe I can get a couple more. If not, as I told you in the last 2 podcasts, I am here to rant and rave. Now, I could do a year review, but I looked it up and it's so confusing and so messy that I really don't want to do that. However, I will pick out pieces that I like. So let's start with January of 2022. How long ago that seems? The riots at the Capitol. Now, I don't know what is right and what is wrong in that case. I do know that I did hear President Trump tell them to all go home and go peacefully demonstrate, which is every citizen's right to do. I'm sure there were some agitators and FBI agitators on top of it to edge them along. Capitol Police stood aside and let them in. After it's all said and done, and we can't see Nancy Pelosi's notes, she was offered help from President Trump for National Guard. She refused it. And so what is the truth? Who knows? But that charade that they had, but now they want to indict him, is just a joke. A real joke. The Russian collusion, all that stuff all put together is just absolutely crazy. Impeach him twice on false charges. But anyway, and as I told you, I like Donald Trump. I thought he made a very good president because he may have been rough around the edges, but so am I. I'm from that area, so I know. But he got his job done. He got the job done. And if you weren't loyal to him, he'd action, no problem. I do agree that Mike Pence did not have the ability to overturn that election. I do agree it was a fair election, maybe some discrepancies here and there, but it all turned out in a wash. And you can only go on that so long. Now, with that being said, I would have wished that Donald had stopped after that January 6th and went to go ahead and run for president. But he didn't. And as much as I love Donald Trump, I think it's time for Ron DeSantis. Now, speaking of that, right now we have a dead man walking in the White House. I don't know, one of these days just going to wheel him out of a casket and prop him up. They do that most of the time now. I listen to some of these mistakes he made and some of the things he said. I don't know who's running that White House, whether it's his wife, Susan Rice, is doing it. And it sure the hell isn't him. For a guy who was against so many things before, and now we have a socialist country, and we do give to the poor, taking the rich, give to the poor, taking the rich. When the rich are done having money, screw everybody. That's how that works. I know that this country is in big that omnibus bill that was passed with Republican help, by the way, 9 Republicans in Congress and 19 in the Senate. They ought to be thrown out on their asses. That includes Mitch McConnell and all of them. John Cornyn, all those who voted for that should be thrown out. They should have gave the Congress a chance to redo the bill, get rid of 87,000 IRS agents who will be knocking on your door as soon as they knock. You underpaid a penny, now you owe $1,000. If they do that. Now we go further along in the year, and then we have the open border. I really want to stay away from politics, but this is what the world is, and I have to accept it and learn to live with it. Whether you agree with me or not, I hope you're rational enough to understand what I'm telling you. And if you do disagree, please go onto the website, sign up for the emails, and send me an email or a comment on this video and tell me. If you have something else you want to discuss beside the stuff I'm bringing up, please feel free to do that also on the website. But nobody has done that so far, so left to my own devices, I can get a lot of trouble. Now, we had the border, crisis at the border. They started to come over more and more. Donald Trump had it pretty much sealed up, not totally, but pretty much. Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis started to send people to Martha Vineyard and all over the place, dropping off from politicians' door. And but Martha Vineyard, rich people didn't like it. Those Democrats, the elite, didn't like it. They freaked out and called the army, and poor people were transferred out of there the next day. And they told DeSantis he was evil and all that stuff. You know what's evil? Is letting the people come in the first time. Having them die coming across the border. Having the women raped, the children sold as sex slaves. I talked to a Democrat, my wife talked to a Democrat the other day, who did not know how many people that was being done to, and the fentanyl, how bad it was, because they don't pay attention to the other side of the story. And you really should, whether I tell you something or not, check it. If you think I'm lying, or you think I'm exaggerating, check out my story. Check out both sides of the issue, and then make it this proper decision. As I told you, the one thing I will not do is lie to you. I have no reason to. This podcast is done for my amusement. Unless I get 5,200 people a month sign up, it's done for my amusement. I have only got one donation, by the way, of only $40. So again, this is not a very profitable situation at the moment. So I tell you that because most people don't believe that the border's that bad. They don't see it. Come on, that nutcase at the White House, whatever the hell in there. Oh, the border's not open. The border's not open. No. This weekend alone, 16,000 people crossed in one day, 2 days. And now the Biden in all his glory says, you know what? Let's close the border and steer them all the other way to one place. You're still letting them in illegal. What about all them people that were legal? Talking to a lady the other day in a store, and she said, I came here legally. We do not like the illegals. All they're doing is making a country divided. Except for Democrats. I don't know what the hell's wrong with Democrats. To think I used to be one when I was younger. Then I grew up, got a little common sense. I don't get this shit at all. So anyway, now we have the 16,000 come over this weekend. Title 41 ends in a day or two, and I told you last week we'll be talking about it today. And I think the Remain in Mexico policy would really be a good idea. It wouldn't hurt. Trump did, and it's legal. It was challenged in the courts, and it is legal. They can go ahead and do that. But again, my idea of if you want to come in illegal, you get caught 5 years in military service, and then 5 years on top of that probation, and you have to have a job and good income. Then we talk about what we want to do from there. 10 years to prove yourself. If you don't make it to 5 years in the military, bye, see ya. You mess up on probation, bye, see ya. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care if it's jaywalking. Get the hell out of here. You have all these people coming over, and what a lot of the people don't realize, they get free medical, free food, free. They don't even need ID to get on a plane. They have a place to live. Better than welfare. They're getting it all. And who's paying for it? You and I. Our taxes that go up and continue to go up, government continue to spend. And again, I blame both parties for this. Yes, the Republicans say, I want to approve the budget because I want to increase in defense. You could have just stopped. Stop, let Congress handle it, and shut the government down. Who gives a damn? The more you shut down, better it is. So less money we're spending. Get rid of the Department of Education because they're clueless. There's a lot of different things they could do. Now, Biden, as far as foreign policy goes, it is said that he has never been right on anything. He wanted to divide up Iraq, and anyway, the war on Putin with Putin. I remember him saying back, I think it was April, whenever it was, if he crosses that border, there's going to be serious consequences. Hello? You're still having a hard time getting the weapons shipped to Ukraine because your government people are assholes. Now, do I agree we should be supplying them all these weapons? Yes. Do I agree that we shouldn't keep track of the money? No. I do think we should have accountants or attorney, somebody watching that money, attorney general, somebody keeping an eye on the money. That I agree with. Blank check, no. This should be a goal. And Joe Biden just doesn't get it. South America. Hasn't really visited South America, done anything important there. Oh, they sent Kamala down there to say the root cause of immigration is poverty. What are we supposed to do? We're giving them money. Why are we giving them money? Take that money to the border. Why are we giving China oil out of our reserves and selling it to them? 1 million barrels a day. We're going to strategic petroleum is going to be out of oil eventually. We got to stop. And the more they take, the more it's going to cost to fill them back up. Donald Trump had wanted to fill it up. They said no. Congress said no. Now we just use it because it's politically correct. And them student loans, I am so glad that's on hold. No offense to anybody, people. But you sign a contract, be an adult, pay your damn money back. Why should I pay it back? I didn't go to college. You send me your college degree and I'll gladly let you take it out of my taxes. But that's just it. So Washington in a state of things is just totally screwed up. The world in general, you got Meghan and Harry who just don't know when the hell to shut the hell up. You become a princess, be happy, Meghan. They're not racist. You're the one that's racist because you keep bringing it up. You're not giving anybody a shot. You do all this stuff to get money, and then you're not the monarchy. Maybe you're right, but somehow I don't think so. Then we go down to Palestinians, and we go down to Saudi Arabia, things like places like that. We're giving them money to build a fence. How sweet. Help them on their borders. Isn't that nice? $4 million? Another couple $1 million to stick a dog full of cocaine. Where is Peter? As I said to you before, since I'm going on a rant about the whole year, trans, talk about sex. If you want to have a sex change operation, it's fine, you pay. But I'll be damned if I'm going to let my daughter go in the same bathroom as you because you say you're a female. Now, that ain't going to happen. My granddaughter will never do that. and I will fight you tooth and nail. It is not your right to force your opinions and your beliefs on others. Just leave us alone. Let's go on with life. Use your own damn bathroom. You got something hanging between your legs, you go over there and use that bathroom. Simple. So you get rid of it. Then we'll talk. I have grandkids that are doing swimming, track. They're not going to be able to compete when they go to high school, get any kind of scholarship, not against the male. It's impossible. Where is the women's league? Where are they? They don't want to protect girls no more. They should just disband. Now, so we move further along during the year, and the Democrats got a little upset because Roe v. Wade. Now, according to what I heard from the Democratic side, is, oh my God, you can't get an abortion anymore. Listen, old lady, yes, you can. First of all, the people who are yelling are too ugly. Don't need to worry about that. Anyway, I should have said that. But anyway, I can't be canceled. I told you that. So anyway, you still can have an abortion in any state. Each state is different. I think it's Alabama, Mississippi, absolutely not. Florida, it's up to 15 weeks. There's different states. You can go to California, have all the abortions you want. New York, knock yourself out. Disney's willing to pay to go have an abortion if you want one. They're going to figure that out. Speaking of Disney, we have the new president, Mr. Iger. Well, Mr. Iger's got a problem because the one that just left spent so much damn money and got so involved with politics, and even DeSantis isn't going to give him a break. Oh, look at me, I'm Bob Iger. I'm sorry we got involved. He's still sending out shit movies. This last one, Red, was all about bisexual or trans or some shit like that. California, my favorite state. I wish California would fall into the damn ocean. There was always this joke when we were growing up, buy some land in Nevada so you can always have seaside property when California fell from an earthquake. Yeah, I'm sure there's some nice people in California. I know some of the state wants to succeed from that. Some of the northern counties, some of the eastern counties, but they're never going to do it because Democrats will never let that happen. So the best thing for California is to say, bye. Why don't you give me back to Mexico? There you go. There's a solution to our immigration problem. Give it all to Mexico. Don't make it a state no more. Put up a big freaking wall and then say, sorry, you're in a different country. Goodbye. See you. Need a passport to get here, Jack. Gee, Joe, I'm so good at this. I should have been a politician. I almost was, so glad I got away from that. As I mentioned in previous ones, I was president of a Concerned Citizens Group and a political action committee. I have my taste of politics, and I think all politicians lie the second they open their mouth. If you want to check that, go right ahead. I mean, come on, people. This country is founded on principles that they're just throwing out the window here. And I don't understand why people can't see it. No matter how old you are. Give them school choice. None of this teaching this crap about oral sex to a kindergarten. Please, seriously. Oh, yeah, that'll go over well. I go in there and beat the shit out of them, call them a child pervert. I mean, come on. And then you sit there and say, oh, nothing. That's what's wrong with this generation. And I don't blame this generation. I blame their parents. Their parents are a bunch of assholes. I don't know how they were brought up. I mean, you can tell them the sky is blue, and they argue with you and say it's green, purple. And they believe it. It's some serious medication. And I just hope for the country's sake, the older they get, more observant they get, the better they get. But I have no hope. I have no hope. Military, they finally are okay not to have the vaccination, but the 20,000 people they already let go, not going to bring back. Doesn't matter, Republicans, you couldn't get that in the bill. You have no gumption, no standing up for anything. Sorry. Democrats, you just don't care. You're a communist country or socialist country, call it a day. I don't think people study the history socialism passes, find out what kind of country they would be in. I wouldn't be here telling you all this. I'd probably be in jail. Like 3 rooms, a hot cot. Okay. And most people just wouldn't be able to. Somebody said to me the other day, people sit there and say, if you don't like it, leave the country. But they shouldn't really have to do it. We gotta get the hell out of here. Go to another country and say these things, do these things. Illegal immigration in China, walking in China, you get shot. Walking to North Korea, you get shot. Probably because they think you're freaking crazy. You're showing up anyway. But they shoot you. No questions. No. Saudi Arabia, they finally allowed them to dance the other day. I think it was once a year thing until they get the hang of it. We don't pay attention to South America, which is really a bad thing. We should. You got to watch Russia or China setting up in Venezuela, different ports, different bases. Beware of China. Be very weary of China. They sent 25 planes towards Taiwan the other day. I'm sorry, I'd shoot the fuckers down. Yeah. They got real close. I was in 25 warships the other way. 25 planes. Yeah, they like it. If they want to try to shoot them down. Then Russia. Putin. If you had the interview that I had, and I talked about the Russian spy, okay, you'll come to find out she thinks that he's suffering from dementia. I don't know. I read something today. It's cancer, or who the hell knows. But anyway, he was upset the other day or last week because something in Russia blew up and he couldn't understand. He was getting all bent out of shape because Russia's getting hit, that some of the targets are getting hit. Well, you know, you stupid asshole, you're bombing Ukraine. What do you think they're going to sit there and not bother you? Me personally, I'd send a missile right towards Moscow and blow it the hell up. Some freaking ice cream looking buildings they got anyway. They remind me of big ice creams if you look at them. And I guess I could sit here and rave, but I want to tell you all, again, if you know anybody that has something to say, go to my website, leave comments, leave voicemail. If you have any suggestions, please sign up, send me an email. Or again, another comment. Anybody has anything they want to say or want to be interviewed, I would gladly sit down and talk about whatever you want. And if you have ideas that you want me to talk about, and I may not agree with them or may disagree with them, I will give you my unbiased opinion. But if you ask something like that, be prepared for the answer. You may not like it. As you all know, if you had read and listened to the podcast, talking to a crazy person, I don't give a damn. Well, anyway, this week I'm going up to, next week on the 4th, I think is a Wednesday. I'm leaving, flying up to Pennsylvania, to Harrisburg, to go handle some cash for some people at the farm show in Harrisburg. That's a lot of cash. I will be carrying a gun that they're going to give me, and I will have a state trooper escorting me. So that'll be fun. The only thing is I'll freeze to death. And it's long hours. I still haven't heard back from the stupid unemployment about overpayments, and I don't really give a damn about them because there's nothing I can do. But again, people are asking me what my podcast is about. It's about whatever I feel like talking about, or in reality, whatever you want to talk about. But if I have no suggestions and no ideas and no one to talk to but myself, that's what we get. Gibberish, mixed bag of things. But again, I pray for this country. I can't see Kamala as president. Oh God, I don't know what's worse, Biden or Kamala. And I don't know what's wrong with this country. That you got the Hunter laptop. Jesus Christ! How can you say Trump is a crook without saying Biden's a bigger crook? Chinese influence, Mr. Big, the big guy. How can they be so damn stupid? Because they don't take, people in this world don't want to consider anybody else's opinion, thoughts, ideas. Facts. Facts are a terrible thing. They're getting away a lot. So anyway, with that, I'd like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. Oh, I did that already. So let's go to New Year's. Before we do, we'll get to the sports section. I'm a Giant fan. They played a good game the other day. Tampa is probably gonna make the playoffs, and I'm not even sure why, how. They suck. My wife's an Eagle fan, so I gotta live with that for the rest of my life. But the Eagles, as soon as they go to playoffs, it's like shooting birds. Bing, bang, bang. Down I go. So to everybody who's listening, have a nice, safe New Year's. Enjoy the cool weather, but be up to 84, I think, Saturday. And then I'll be flying into the cold weather, which is probably 8 degrees next week. But again, I am taking my computer, so I will be doing another podcast before I leave Tuesday, and I'll update that following Tuesday. So maybe I can get a guest or two, a state trooper or something. So again, have fun. Happy New Year's. I'm gonna see if I can get some music to sign this out with. So be safe. And remember, if you're not laughing, you're not living.